What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back here with the title today. I want to do just an MLB weekly type of thing. It's Monday, so it's the perfect time to kind of recap how the first 10 or so games of baseball have gone. Of course, there's 150 more, so there's plenty of time for the bad teams to turn it around, but we're going to talk about it now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the wonderful things, man. Just do it for me, bro. It's not that hard. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the AL East. You see the board back here. It's a little bit hard to see probably from your POV, but we'll walk it down, and I'll go step by step. Baltimore Orioles, so far, they are not playing very good baseball right now. They're actually last, like dead last in the AL East. Of course, 4-6 versus 6-3. Not that big of a difference, but yeah, for Baltimore, the issue was kind of pitching. Charlie Morton had a good start going where he had 10 Ks, but the issue was he lost 2 fastballs, and they ended up being homers. One was right down the middle. And then Tomoyuki Sugano, his first start wasn't great, but his second start was better. It's really a lot about pitching for Baltimore, because when they're killing the ball like they have been, they're really hard to stop. Colton Cowser being down is tough, though. Again, I referenced this in a video before. First week of the season, you're sliding headfirst into first base, which, again, does not make you faster. I know some players like to think that. No, it doesn't. Sports Science did that. Go watch the damn episode. Colton Cowser might be an idiot for sliding headfirst into first base. He broke his wrist or whatever, or injured his wrist. I think it was a wrist injury, right? So they're obviously down in the 5 spot. We can update that right now. Give me 1 minute. So Baltimore slides in at 5. It's been a rough start, but again, 4-6 versus 6-3 ain't that bad. Tampa's in second. They've had some late game heroics to start their season. Overall, though, it's kind of a weird team to watch. I don't know. Caminero started off relatively well, but not with the power. His power numbers weren't where I wanted to start the year, but again, only 9 games in. It's not that big of a deal. Their pitching's in a tough spot. I picked Ryan Pepio to be a breakout candidate, and he had a decent start, or he's had a couple of decent starts. Nothing too crazy. But overall, it's not like I'm sitting here pounding the table like, yes, Pepio, we're getting the job done. Of course, for the Rays, though, McClanahan still isn't there, so they're relying on, Taj Bradley, who hasn't had an ideal start. Taj Bradley wasn't very good in his last start. Drew Rasmussen, good. He could throw a little bit. And then the lineup, like I said, Caminero, kind of underwhelmed with what I've got so far, but they got, Cameron Meisner contributions, and what's the other one's name? Brandon Lau's been contributing, and then there's Johnny DeLuca. Johnny DeLuca's been contributing as well. Of course, I'm pretty sure, he was a prospect from the Dodgers, I think. I think so, something like that. Either way, they've gotten some good production out of some guys. They're in a 500 spot, and it's kind of where I just kind of envisioned they'd be, is in a 500 spot, to be honest with you. Did I put them up there? I did already. All right. Number 3 is Toronto. We could talk about Toronto real quick. $500 million man, Mr. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Congratulations to him, and congratulations to the country of Canada altogether. You maintained a star, which is something Canada has just struggled to do historically, is maintain the stars that they have. You think about it in basketball land, which I'm a basketball fan. You think about Toronto Raptors in their history. Lost Vince Carter, lost Tracy McGrady, lost Kawhi Leonard. Lost Chris Bosh to free agency. All these guys leave. But Vlad's staying. Honestly, I think it was what everyone thinks it was. Vladdy saw my 401k hit the absolute floor last week and decided, I'm going to just stay in Canada for a little while. Not a bad idea. But it's good to see a guy commit to Canada. And while they've struck out on a lot of free agents recently, it's made it clear that, hey, man, they'll still cough up the money. They paid Tony Taters. They paid Max Scherzer. They're getting some wins. I predicted them to be, I believe, in 3rd place, maybe. And they've been just that, a good third place team. They've gotten good contributions from Bo Bichette. I like what I've seen from Bo so far this year. He's having a nice little comeback from what I thought was a bad year last year. Of course, Andres Jimenez has a couple of tape measure home runs. Absolutely ridiculous going on here. Who else started off hot? Springer got hurt, I think it was, but he was starting off well. Will Wagner's having a good year. Yeah, he is. Wow. I'm looking at the numbers right now. Will Wagner's been pretty good, huh? But again, the issue is exactly what I thought it was, which was the rotation. Chris Bassett's had 2 really good starts, but it's Chris Bassett. He's a pitch-to-contact guy. Does anyone really think Chris Bassett's going to stay at a 1.03 FIP at the end of the year? I don't really. But yeah, you see Jose Barrios struggled, Max Scherzer struggled. He has a thumb issue that's hurting his adductor or whatever. Wild stuff. Kevin Gausman, I needed a bounce back for Kevin Gausman. I haven't really gotten that. And then Bowden Francis has been a nice little piece. He was good last year too, so it makes sense. And all the while, like, Jeff Hoffman's been a decent pickup for them. So good for them, man. Vladdy getting his bag. Vlad Guerrero Jr. signing that $500 million deal is amazing to see just for the sport of baseball. Even though I would like to have seen him in pinstripes, my Yankee pinstripes, I can respect a guy who wants to stay in Canada. It doesn't happen very often. But now, you really think about it, he's got that market all to himself. There isn't a bigger star in Canada right now than Vlad Jr. in terms of pro sports. Well, maybe some hockey guys, but I don't cover hockey here. I don't watch it. Sorry. He's the biggest of the big three sports: baseball, basketball, football. Yeah, I'm saying Vlad Jr. is bigger than Scotty Barnes. What are you going to do about it? Exactly, nothing. All right, next is the Boston Red Sox, who started off really bad but have won 5 straight. They've been on fire recently, man, and who'd have thought? They play a lot better when their best player is playing well. Rafi Devers picks it up. All of a sudden, the team's cruising. Wilyer Abreu has been absolutely amazing. Yeah, Wilyer Abreu's been absolutely amazing. The pitching is still a big worry for me. I'm sorry. I said it coming into the season. That was my biggest issue with the team, was their bullpen and their pitching in general. And as you see, they've gotten like one good start. 1 out of Crochet, 2 out of Crochet. Crochet's been really good. Crochet's been as good as advertised. He's a punch-out guy. But Tanner Houck, bad starts. Walker Buehler, bad starts. Sean Newcomb, bad starts. Dick Fitz, only 1 start. It wasn't great. Their bullpen has been better than I thought. Like, Garrett Whitlock had a good outing. That's not much else to really report, though. And then, of course, in first place in my New York Yankees, who the Bats have started off relatively well. They got blanked by, not blanked, but they lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks, who are a very respectable team. Although they haven't started off ideally for what they've wanted at 500, they're still a respectable team. And they've gotten contributions from everybody as well. Anthony Volpe hitting the ball really well. Jazz Chisholm's hitting the ball really well. You know, so if the Yankees can keep getting contributions from guys like Volpe and Jazz consistently, this team's a powerhouse, but the pitching has been rough. I'm never a man to doubt Matt Blake, but the bullpen hasn't been ideal either. I'm going to start stripping off the Central, but the Yankees have been relatively pretty good to start the year. I mean, they're where I expected them to be, at about above 500. Boy, JC Escarra hasn't played enough, in my opinion, but overall, I just like the direction that the Yankees have been going this season. They're moving relatively well. They took 2 out of 3 from Pittsburgh, which it's Pittsburgh. I'm tapering my expectations, but we will talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates in a minute. We're going to talk about the AL Central, which has the leader that I predicted. I didn't even have to move this piece because it's Detroit. Detroit's had a couple of very good starts. Tarek Skubals had a couple of good starts. He's gotten absolutely hosed by his fielding a few of these times. But the lineup's been really good. Torque is hitting bombs. Torkelson's hitting. I don't know if it's going to stick, but Torkelson's hitting right now. Riley Green is obviously a star in this league. I said he was a budding star. He's almost there. He's close enough, in my opinion. And then there was that fun stat that Jake Rogers and Dylan Dingler were like the first catcher duo to hit triples in the first week or something in baseball history. Pretty cool. They got my guy Glaber playing well. They got their pitching staff doing all right. Things are rolling in Detroit, and I'm happy to see it. Kerry Carpenter is still hitting the ball really hard. I like what the Detroit Tigers have right now. They're on the push, man. I'm seeing it. Number 2, the Central's been very mid to start. Kansas City's 4-5 in second, and that's their lineup is just as I expected. It's very middling. They have one bat over a 100 OPS plus. I know it's only 9 games in, but it's Bobby Witt Jr. And Jonathan India's at a 101. My bad. It's the lineup. It's just what I expected. Maikel Garcia's hitting the ball. Maikel Garcia is one of those guys where it's like, man, he hits the ball hard. If he could do it consistently, he'd be really good. He didn't do it consistently last year. Maybe this year's the year. However, he's not even starting at third base. It's Johnny India now, so I don't know. But Maikel as a backup seems actually not bad. Mark Canha is one of those guys that always starts out the season hot, so I want to see him do it for a full year. And their pitching staff has been just as good as advertised. Remember Foolish Baseball? Foolish Bailey was up on Chris Bubich. Chris Bubich has been very good to start. Seth Lugo's been fine. Cole Reagans has been fine. Like, it's a fine staff. That's just what they have, is a fine pitching staff. Their bullpens is still a big question mark. It's not good, right? Carlos Estevez and his Kamehameha waves, they ain't working. You know, like, it's not a bad bullpen. I thought Urseg was going to be their closer coming into this season, honestly, but I guess not. Doesn't really need to be. I'm not really worried about that, all things considered. But they're 4-5 in here. And then I'm seeing some Guardians fans panicking about a 3-6 start. Didn't they miss Jose Ramirez for like 2 of those games as well? I mean, they're playing fine, dude. Relax. It's the pitching staff, just as we all thought. But there's reinforcements coming eventually in the form of Shane Bieber, right? And it's also the bullpen. They're relying on like Paul Sewald, and they overtaxed the hell out of that bullpen last year. So I don't know. This might be a hell year for Cleveland. I don't know. But it's not starting off well. J-Ram is having a fine year. J-Ram's going to be J-Ram regardless. Carlos Santana started off well too. And then, of course, big shout out to Kyle Manzardo. Manzo has been on a tear to start. I think he hit a homer yesterday on Sunday as I record. So they've started off rough, but I don't think they're bad. I don't think their sub 500 play is going to stick. Unlike this other team that I think the sub 500 play can stick, the Minnesota Twins. Overall, again, it's the hitting. The hitting. Carlos Correa has been putrid, atrocious. What word do you want to use? Really bad. Not good. And then, of course, like their other bats just haven't gotten it going. Ryan Jeffers. Ty France is a starting first baseman. Ty France was a DFA guy like 3 times last year. You know, Harrison Bader's been their best hitter. Harrison Bader. Wallner's starting games, and I love me some Matt Wallner. He clubs the freaking ball. I root for him a lot, but like, Jonathan Miranda started off bad. Carlos Correa started off bad. Ryan Jeffers has started off bad. Byron Buxton started off bad. Like, the bench. Oh my God, this bench. Edward Julian, bad. Vasquez, bad. Gasper, bad. Like, even the rotation is not great. Bailey Ober has an odor so far this season, to say the least. He got dented. Chris Paddock got bust by the White Sox in his first start. That was hilarious. And Joe Ryan. Losing control? Where's his control at? I don't know. The White Sox started off well. Their pitching staff thought they could do it. They could not do it. Who'd have thought? Sorry, White Sox, but I think we all knew you'd be here. And then the last out of the AL, we got the AL West, which has started off actually kind of as anticipated. The Texas Rangers, despite getting some struggling play from Corey Seager and Marcus Semien and Jock Peterson and Jake Berger to start the season, they've been good. So yeah, that kind of helps a lot. The sign of a good team, in my opinion, is when your best players are struggling, can you win games? And they've managed to piece together wins with Corey Seager having 1 extra base hit, having Marcus Semien have 1 extra base hit, and that was both yesterday, I think. I think they both went yard for their first homer yesterday. Jake Berger has 1 extra base hit. Nope, 3, never mind. He's just striking out a ton. Like, it's been absolutely brutal for them on the hitting side, but they're pitching. Jacob deGrom's been Jacob deGrom. If he's healthy, he's dealing. That's Jacob deGrom. Nate Eovaldi's been Nate Eovaldi. Like, you're looking up and down this stat sheet, and you're realizing, well, the pitching's actually been pretty good. Jacob Webb, Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia, I said before the season, was going to be a guy to watch out for. He's absolutely nasty. I'm a big fan of Robert Garcia. That was a good pickup on their part. Number 2 has been a fun team that I like watching. You got Joe Adell, you got Kyron Paris out there. Rengifo had the hamstring tightness, but he played the next day or whatever. Mike Trout's healthy still. Logan O'Hoppe picking up the bat speed. I'm pretty sure he's swinging the bat harder, I think I saw. Like, this team has been fun with the Angels. They're really fun. I'm a big fan of what the Los Angeles Angels have going on this season. The pitching staff's been enough. Like, Jose Soriano had a mid-start against Cleveland, but the offense picked them up. And overall, that's kind of how they have to live. Because let's be frank, their pitching staff isn't the strongest. Like Kyle Hendricks, I don't know how many 6-inning, two earned run starts are going to get out of Kyle Hendricks this season. I still can't pronounce his name. Jack Kachanovitz? I don't know. Yusei Kikuchi mid-start. Jose Soriano is like my favorite player on their team, up there with like Kyron Paris. Kyron Paris is a fun player, dude. I like watching him play. And the fans seem to really like him as well, so that's really awesome. So even with like Mike Trout kind of not limping out of the gate, but he's not putting up Mike Trout numbers, you're still doing fine enough. Joe Adell, I need to see more out of. It would make me really happy. Yohan Moncada's playing like it. There's some weird ones in there, but overall, like the Angels are playing a fine enough start to the season that I think the Angels fans would say they're happy with. It's just you got to get the hitters awake, but also still early in the season. They might just start out cold, you know. It's Mike Trout after all. He's not really cold, but he's not starting out super hot. Somewhere in the middle. He's got like an 800 OPS, so I mean that's fine. But it's not Mike Trout-esque. Either way, you get it. Number 3 is the team that can't get the bats to wake up consistently. It's Houston. The bats are struggling coming out of the gate. Christian Walker has like 1 extra base hit. He got robbed of a home run too, I believe. The pitching's been brutal, man. I'm a big Hunter Brown guy, but even he's been rough. Fromber's been rough. It's a mixed bag for Houston, man, because you don't know what exactly to do. Like, Yainer has been historically ass. Yainer Diaz, he's been terrible. Jeremy Pena has like 1 home run. Woo. Rodon's been absolutely brutal. Hunter Brown's actually been better than I thought. Maybe it was just his second start, not as good. But like Spencer Arrighetti, Ronel Blanco was real bad. Like, he's been real bad. And then Hayden Wisniewski hasn't been great either. The back line of their bullpen's still really good with Brian Abreu and Josh Hader. And Brian King even has some nasty pitches. So their bullpen's still there, but the lineup consistency is just not there right now. Blah, blah, blah. Oakland. I said Oakland. I didn't mean Oakland. Athletics. There you go. Athletics are in 4th place. That's another team where it's like, hey, man, if the lineup could really get churning, which they need to. Brent Rooker's turning it up a little bit. Brent Rooker's definitely getting back into it. But like Lawrence Butler's been really good. Miguel Andujar has been really good. My breakout pick on that team was Jacob Wilson, who has by far been better than I anticipated. I'm a big Jacob Wilson guy, and if you didn't watch my breakout video, ironically, my 5 breakout player video ended up being a breakout type video. It had like 200 views, which is pretty good for my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But Jacob Wilson was a part of that, and I love me some Jacob Wilson. Their pitching staff is one thing that I was concerned about. Of course, Mason Miller is very hard to hit. We know that. But I don't know if it's going to hold up. I like J.P. Sears. I don't mind Luis Severino. Osvaldo Bido has been really good. It's a weird staff. I just don't think it's that good. I don't know if it's going to stick. But like Bangaliers has been coming out of the gate strong. You know, they're thinking about calling up, I forget what his name is. Oh, my God, Nick Kurtz. And if he comes up, Tyler Soderstrom, bye-bye. Either that or Brent Rooker's going back to the outfield, and that'd be disgusting. Don't do that. 5th, Seattle Mariners. Who'd have thought? The team that can't hit suddenly still can't hit. It makes sense to me. Victor Robles dove headfirst into netting. He was reckless, but he caught the ball. I applaud Victor Robles for that attempt. That was honestly pretty sick. Even Julio is, like, not struggling. He's been pretty good, but, like, the rest of the team is like, what are we doing? Randy's mid. JP's mid. Ryan Bliss is starting. Donovan Solano's mid. Victor Robles got hurt in the netting. I hope he'll be fine. I haven't seen anything about that. Rowdy Tellez is in the game. Dylan Moore is like a fun platoon guy. Their pitching staff hasn't been as expected. Castillo got dented. Bryce Miller got dented. Emerson Hancock, I think, got DFA'd. I don't think things are very fine with them, but again, it all goes back to their hitting. They can't hit the ball consistently, and when you can't hit the ball consistently, you don't really usually win consistently. But their pitching staff does have to take a step up. Bryce Miller has to be better. Luis Castillo has to be better. Those guys are considered like diet aces, and they're struggling coming out of the gates, so they got to pick it up too. Time for the National League. We got the NL East. We got Philly in first place. They're getting some good starts. Aaron Nola, despite getting a loss, didn't have a bad start against the Dodgers. They kind of got shut down by Roki Sasaki, which made me a little bit mad, I can't lie. I saw Chris Rose did a video. Chris Rose and Trevor Plouffe did a podcast where they talked about, is Roki Sasaki hated? Yeah, rightfully so, in my opinion. But either way, their bats have been all right. But it's mainly the pitching, man. That top line pitching, like Zach Wheeler and Jesus Luzardo turned in 6 starts, dude. And even Aaron Nola, he got banged around a little bit by the Dodgers, but I didn't think it was that bad of a start. The back line of their bullpen looks good. Jose Alvarado and Matt Strahm have looked sharp. I haven't seen Jordan Romano pitch. I know he has pitched. I just haven't watched him live pitch. So, yeah, maybe I got to tap in for that one. But I know their bullpen's been all right with Alvarado and Strahm at least. All things have been pretty good in Philly. You know, they're just trying to hopefully get some more bats to wake up because as of right now, it's Bryson, Trey, Nick Castellanos, and Kyle Schwarber as the guys who started off well in the starting unit. Of course, off the bench, like Edmundo Sosa, Rafael Marchand, Johan Rojas, and Cody Clemens are there. But, you know, can you really count on Johan Rojas long term is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if the answer is yes or no. So hopefully guys in the lineup start to pick it up a little bit. As we can move on to the Metropolitans in second, who was my pick to win the division. they've started out relatively well. It's just the pitching injuries, and it just that's been rough. Their lineup is okay-ish. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, okay. Like, Luis Torrens and Pete have been very good. Soto's been there. I know Soto hasn't been bad per se, but I just don't feel his impact very much. Like, he's definitely balling. Like, he's definitely putting up good numbers offensively again. I just don't feel the impact that I have before. Jesse Winker's been pretty good in his role. Jesse Winker just hits the ball. But most importantly, do you have time to talk about Tylor Megill? Because apparently he's that guy. You know, the Mets fans have that one GIF where it's Tylor Megill turning into like Tom Seaver or something like that. Absolutely hilarious meme. I'm a big DP guy though. David Peterson is my favorite. The extension king, David Peterson. Yeah, he's had a good start as well. They've had some really solid starts turned in from pitchers. It's just can the lineup consistently get it going? Nimmo, Marte, like some weird contributors in that lineup that need to step up. At number 3, as we all expected, it's the Miami Marlins. Otto Lopez saved your life. Xavier Edwards is actually pretty good. I like Xavier Edwards a lot. And their pitching staff has been better than advertised. Like, I thought their pitching staff was going to be bottom barrel terrible to start the year. But, like, Max Meyer is good. Connor Gillespie. I don't even know who Connor Gillespie is. Andy's turned in a few all right starts. Valente Belozo. I think it's Beozo, right? Either way, it don't matter. He's all right. Cal Quantrill damn near blanked the Braves the other day, which was absolutely hilarious. And then their bullpen has been all right. This team is weird. I don't know how else to talk about them. Like, what's his name has been good. Griffin Conine has had some moments. Kyle Stowers, Derek Hill is starting. I don't know how long this is going to last with them being a good team, because right now, like, it's Otto Lopez's squad, and I don't know how long that's going to last. But as for right now, we can enjoy the Marlins being good. For the yawn Marlins fans, your team doesn't make me bored. Talking about them does. No, I'm just kidding. But this is hilarious. Washington's in 4th, and then the Braves, the Atlanta Braves, are in 5th. Just as we all expected, the Braves are 1-8 to dub Washington, but we all knew they'd be kind of mid. The Braves, on the other hand, oh my God, what is happening to this lineup? Why do they all stink right now? Ruined a great performance from Spencer Schwellenbach the other day. Chris Sale's turned in some all right starts, and yet he ain't getting nothing from it. The lineup has 2 players over a 100 OPS plus right now. 2. It's Matt Olson. It's Marcell Ozuna. That's it, bro. And the rest of the lineup is just not playing well at all. Austin Riley admitted he's been terrible, but he's got 14 strikeouts. 14 in 9 games. Nick Allen's been better than Orlando Arcia, but he still hasn't been good. Drake Baldwin doesn't play nearly enough for my liking. I tune in, I see freaking Chadwick Trump, and I get mad. Drake Baldwin should just play. Just let him go, right? And then Michael Harris has been bad. Jared Kelenic is bad. Jared Kelenic just ain't good. I'm sorry about that one. Jared Kelenic is just not a good enough player, in my opinion, to be consistently in the lineup. Brian De La Cruz isn't very good either, but he did have a nice play throwing out Xavier Edwards at 3rd the other day. That was cool, I guess. Erickson Profar is pregnancy supplements? What? I don't know. Pregnancy supplements? I don't know what's happening anymore. And then their rotation, like Spencer Schwellenbach is very good. Chris Sale threw a not a good start, but he was definitely not bad. And then AJ Smith-Shawver, I don't think he's as bad as it was. Reynaldo Lopez is on the shelf. The bullpen's been really interesting, to say the least. They're throwing Daysbel Hernandez like he's a rubber arm. It feels like he's in every other freaking day. Grant Holmes got dinged, and I was really high on Grant Holmes before the season as well. Everything you could imagine going wrong for the Braves is going wrong for the Braves. Of course, Ohtani bobblehead night against the Braves leads to an Ohtani walk-off home run on Ohtani bobblehead night. WWE, then, now, forever, buddy. That shit was scripted. The Central Time now. At number 1, we have my predicted winner. I don't even know why I took it off. It's the Cubbies. They've been pretty good, actually, to be honest with you. Kyle Tucker's been absolutely on fire to start the season, and I know he's hyped to see that Vlad deal done, because if Vlad's getting 500, how much is K-Tuck getting? Probably like 450. I don't know. How many years does he want? Someone said 11 for 480, and I was like, I don't know if that's enough, to be honest with you. He's leading the National League in like WAR, homers, hits, everything. I never really know what his contract's going to be, but I think Kyle Tucker is going to get a big old bag from the Cubbies. I don't think they're going to let him go. I mean, you traded some good prospects. Well, Cam Smith started off horribly. In their defense, Cam Smith has started off terribly, so you never know. But they did trade a good amount for him, and I'd assume they want to retain him very badly. But him seeing that Vlad Jr. $500 million probably perked his ears up like, yo, what can I get? Milwaukee in second, who's had a very weird start to the year. Jackson Churio had a 2-homer game yesterday. He's starting to pick it up, thankfully, because he's looked rough to start the year. Guys like Sal Frelick, I think, are swinging the bat harder. Their bat speeds are really up. And that's a good thing because you need more power on the team. You need more ability to score runs. This team can defend real well, but I didn't know about their scoring ability, and I still don't, with William Contreras not hitting the ball very well. Like their best hitter right now is Sal Frelick, and I don't know how to feel about that. He has 14 hits and only 2 extra base hits. That's incredible. So that takes talent to be that good of a singles hitter. Jake Bowers is a good fill-in, but their pitching has been cleaning up well. Like, I didn't believe in their pitching going into the season either, and in all fairness, Nestor Cortez, Elvin Rodriguez haven't shown me a ton. Nestor's second start was good, though, so I can't really dump on him that bad. No offense, I don't know who the hell Connor Thomas is, but they left that poor kid out there to die a couple of times. Every time he gets sent out there, they're like, yeah, dude, we don't care. They're rubber-arming him, it feels like, and that's fun. Trevor Megill had some colorful things to say about the Yankees, so I will not talk about Trevor Megill. On to the next one. But the Brewers have overall been good, but their bats aren't there right now. But Sal Frelick's turned up his bat speed a little bit, and I think I saw another Brewer in there, maybe Terang. So that's good to see them trying to get more juice into that lineup. Here's the Cardinals. The Cardinals got their ass pummeled by Boston. Their big contributor, Ivan Herrera, got hurt. That was my big breakout candidate. If I had to stamp my breakout candidate video, my 5 breakout player candidates, Ivan Herrera was one that I was going to stamp and be like, I think this guy's got what it takes. And then he got helped off the field yesterday. Haven't seen an injury update about him. I wish I did before I started recording, honestly. I could probably look it up now, but I saw him limping and getting carried off the court. Don't ever want to see that. Left knee inflammation, 10-day IL. Absolutely brutal. Thank God it's only the 10-day, but he started off so hot, and it was nice to see, but he went down. They've been getting other lineup contributions, kind of. Wilson Contreras. The Contreras brothers in general have started off pretty bad, all things considered. But like Lars, Brendan Donovan, Jordan Walker, they've all been contributing. The offense hasn't been nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be honest with you. And you know what? That's keeping them afloat. That helps a lot. When your offense is moving and grooving, man, it's fun to watch. But the pitching staff is still pretty bad. They got dented in the Boston series at Fenway. But overall, with their lineup keeping them in it, I mean, they could remain competitive. I had them in 5th place or maybe 4th, but I think they can be competitive still. We want to talk about competitive. Cincinnati being absolutely horrific at hitting the ball and making themselves uncompetitive by losing games 1-0 and scoring 0 runs per game for like a week. That's unacceptable, bro. They had a big game yesterday against Milwaukee where I don't even think they won that game. Sorry, I was out golfing yesterday. But Cincinnati overall is just a fun team that I thought they could be like a really good team, but their offense is having a lot of trouble just putting it together consistently. Oh my God. Jake Fraley has played 8 games. He has 27 plate appearances, and he has 4 hits. Wow. Like, that's bad, bro. I knew they were really bad, but going into the stats, like, Ellie's not playing great. Jamer Candelario had a good opening day, but he's minus .3 WAR in 10 games is pretty impressive. He's on pace to make records with that. Gavin sucks. But now it's even worse because their pitching staff hasn't been nearly as bad as I thought it could be. Like, Brady Singer's had a couple of good starts. Hunter Green's had a couple of good starts. Nick Lodolo. And Nick Lodolo has been consistently one of the nastier, quote-unquote, pitchers in baseball who just doesn't get the production that you need out of him. But I'm happy to see Nick Lodolo doing well. But the Reds all around need to just be better at hitting the damn ball. Lastly, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are an embarrassment to their own self. They take down the Roberto Clemente thing, and the guy goes, oh, it's my fault, nobody else's. I tweeted about this, and I won't take it back. The people of Pittsburgh need to collectively stand up to Bob Nutting, and by that, what I mean is I don't know, wrap him in plastic and throw him into the Allegheny? just a thought. I don't know. Just load him in a boat with no oars and just put him in the Allegheny. There's just Bob Nutting is maybe one of the worst 3 to 5 owners in the sport, and he does nothing. They don't pay Paul Skeens. They don't pay any talent. Michael Kay was talking about it on broadcast, and you know people hate the Yankees when they're disagreeing with this take. Michael Kay said it's ridiculous that the city of Pittsburgh has to deal with absolutely horrendous management top to bottom every season when the Steelers are a good team consistently. The Pittsburgh Penguins are a good team consistently. Pittsburgh sports, this isn't a small market. Pittsburgh sports are respectable as hell. And Bob Nutting is just making the Pirates absolutely not respectable at all. It's infuriating and ridiculous. Michael Kay was talking about it on broadcast, and like I said, you know people hate the Yankees when they're disagreeing with the take that Bob Nutting and the Pirates are an embarrassment to the sport. They don't spend any of the money they make. Maybe it was wrong messenger at the wrong time, but he's right. He's absolutely right, though, that the Pittsburgh Pirates not spending is just an embarrassment to the sport of baseball all around, because Pittsburgh deserves a lot better than what they've been getting and what they've been given. Up next, we have the AL West. Who'd have thought the San Francisco Giants would be the leader of the clubhouse after the front 9, literally the first 9 games they're in the lead. 8-2, man. Who'd have thought that? It's the back half of their lineup doing a lot of damage. Elliot Ramos is that guy, bro. I liked him last year, and I wasn't sure if his numbers would stick, but he's been really good. I like Elliot Ramos a lot. But they're doing that thing again where, like, random role players or, like, guys who are, like, good lineup fillers are just having elite seasons so far. Yastrzemski, Wilmer. You know, it's like, where are these guys coming from? Luis Matos. What? You know, it's just a bunch of guys where it's like, oh, he's having a great year, I guess. You know, it's weird. I don't know how they do it. Jung-Hoo Lee started off relatively. Jung-Hoo Lee has 6 doubles? Real shit? I didn't notice that. Jung-Hoo Lee is my guy, man. I'm happy for him. Also, I've gotten the chance to watch Ryan Walker once this season. He's still nasty. Can confirm Ryan Walker, still nasty. Number 2, technically tied for the lead in the division. Who else do you think? The Dodgers. All right. Number 3 in the division, we have the San Diego Padres, who are also starting off really hot. Bro, the West is running the National League, and I don't think anyone's really surprised, to be honest with you. They have, 3 teams over 500, and only the East has more, and one of them is Miami at 5-4. You know, the West has 3 teams at 4 actually at 500 or better, which is just insane to say. When you have a team surging like the Padres to like their best start in franchise history, and they're still behind, what kind of division is this, bro? It's going to be a bloodbath, absolute hell division, to the point where Arizona hasn't played bad. I don't even think Arizona's been really bad to start the year. They had an 8-game home run streak to start the year. Of course, they haven't won every game, but I don't think they're a bad team. It's just the pitching has been really bad. Corbin Burns felt like he had a good start against the Yankees. Zach Gallen had a elite start against the Yankees. That knuckle curve was working, boy. But the rest of their rotation has been really bad. Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt. Eduardo Rodriguez, I didn't think put in a bad second start. He had a bunch of strikeouts in that second start. But overall, the pitching staff has been like the biggest thing where it's like, ugh. But if you can get, if the starters can end up getting you to like the Jalen Beeks, AJ Puck area, that's not bad. AJ Puck is really good. So is Jalen Beeks. It's like, if you can just get to the back half of that bullpen, they could get you a win. But it's just about, you know, hopefully Merrill Kelly doesn't allow 15 runs, because then you'll never use the back half of the bullpen. But the lineup card is dangerous. Like, I'm talking about the D-backs and just kind of skipping over the Padres. Sorry. I skipped over the Dodgers. That's on purpose. But the Padres overall, like Jackson Merrill started out hot. Manny Machado, still a good ball player. Of course he was. Did you expect any worse? Luis Arraez. Thank God we could shut up about Luis Arraez for now. He's been pretty bad to start the year. And I kind of am a Luis Arraez hater a little bit. He started out terribly, and it's kind of made me crack a little bit of a smile, a smirk. I wonder who's going to be the late season outfielder for them. It could be Brandon Lockridge, because he started off relatively well. But, like, Jason Hayward is not good anymore. That's just a fact. Gavin Sheets has found a home. Gavin Sheets was one where I thought he was going to be, like, an underrated signing. I said that in my last video, I think, too, on my last baseball video. But Gavin Sheets I thought was an underrated signing, because he could always hit. it was always just about him being with the White Sox and not having any protection around him. But he could hit, man. Xander Bogaerts started off mid. But this is a weird pitching staff that's just making it work, bro. And sometimes that's all you need is to just make it work. Dylan Cease has been good. Nick Pivetta had a rough second start, but he hasn't been terrible, all things considered. Michael King is just... If Michael King wasn't a Padre and he wasn't a part of the Juan Soto deal, if he was still a Yankee, he might be my favorite pitcher in the world. But I can't dwell on times past that make me sad. You got a good one, and it makes me sad, San Diego. Also, who's going to be their late season catcher in San Diego? Because you're also dealing with a weird situation with Elias Diaz and Martin Maldonado hit a home run. Martin Maldonado hit a home run, and I was just like, all right, whatever, bro. Stuff happens. A bum runs into one here and there. I don't know how it's going to turn out later in the season. They might need a call-up or something because Jay Hay, Maldi, Elias Diaz, those are pretty parts of the roster, but like you can mask that up real well when you have Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, who hopefully turns around. Luis Ariz, although I'm not a big Luis Ariz guy, I think he could still turn it around still. I don't think Luis Ariz is just absolutely falling off. I don't think he's gonna be that bad this year. And I never put fifth up there, I'm realizing. So there you go, Rockies. You get mentioned. They've actually been pretty fun. Hunter Goodman deserves some respect. Respect Hunter Goodman. But, like, they snapped their losing streak the other day, and the only way they did it was when Zeke Tovar and Brenton Doyle and Chris Bryant all basically carried them to a win. And it's like, I don't know, man. They have, like, 4 good players. And when it works, it works. And I like Hunter Goodman a lot. But I don't think that this is a real team that's going to be competing for this division anytime soon. But overall... the West is hell, so do the Rockies even want to compete right now when everyone else is in a spending spree trying to, it's an arms race. The NL West is a damn arms race right now. What are some takeaways for the week, Matt? 1, respect Trent Grisham. Respect Trent Grisham. 2, no more David Bednar. No more David Bednar. Number 3, Fernando for MVP. Real possibility. Number 4, Eugenio Suarez, absolutely killing the ball. Still. Few more. Philly, do you think your start's sustainable? Do you think Jesus Luzardo is going to end up being that guy for them? I'm really high on Jesus Luzardo. I like that start. Dude, he looked so sharp against the Dodgers. And on top of that, he's got a hot mom, so that definitely helps him as well. Texas, man, you got to be happy with the start you've had, Rangers fans. The Texas Rangers have started 8-2. Seager, Simeon, Jock, and Jake all have started off relatively mid. Kyle Higashioka hasn't even started off well either, and they're 8-2. Like, you got to be happy with that. Comment down below. Tell me how your favorite team is doing this season. Comment some things that they may need to do better. Comment some things that they struggle with. Comment something that makes you mad about them, because I could comment a million things that make me mad about my favorite team. But if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go catch some games. See you guys in the next one.